Hey, hi, it's me. Ah. Hi, good morning, or good afternoon, or good night, whatever time it is for you when you're here listening to this. What's up? Welcome back to Talk for 10. This is where I talk for 10 minutes about just random stuff that comes in my head, and I just rant, and you listen to it. So this is a mutual relationship. If you're thinking this lady's crazy for making these podcasts, well, guess what? You're here too, and we're in this together. Let's go hand in hand and jump off the cliff into craziness. It's early in the morning. This is why I'm being a little crazy. I woke up at like 6 a.m. For pretty much no reason. So I decided, okay, fine. Well, it's still 6 a.m., so I'm going to do a little laundry since it's cheaper if you do it before 7 a.m. So I did a little laundry. I had a shower. I emptied the dishwasher. I made myself a coffee. I had breakfast. Pretty crazy. And I still think about it where I'm still struggling with balancing all the things you're supposed to do with life. There's like 5 major things, 6 major things. I don't know. There's a number of major things that people are supposed to be doing to like maintain a happy, healthy life. Like eat good food, have good sleeps, be physically active in some way. You probably have to work unless you're rich. Working is just, it's a necessity at this point. Gotta pay bills, a clean environment and like self-care, so cleaning yourself, and like social, right? That's at least 7 things. And I feel like in any given week or day, I can maintain maybe like 3 of those. So, for example, for the last week and a half, I've been so good at making soups and doing stuff in the crock pot and having a bunch of food and like preparing food and just having things to eat, which is really good. I did not eat out except for the one time that I was late, and so I needed something fast. But anyway, that's beside the point. I also understand that being late and then taking the time to go somewhere to get something is the same amount of time as just making something at my house. But the brain is weird sometimes. Anyways, so yeah, I was really good at making food, really good at like having stuff prepped, and I did meal prep, I made bread, like I did all this stuff. But like when I'm really good at the one thing, I'm really bad at another thing. So for example, didn't do my laundry for like 2 weeks, and also didn't like tidy any rooms. So it just feels like a lot. Yeah, so I'm still working on that, but it's fine. Maybe eventually I'll figure it out, or maybe just the way my life is that every week I am good at a specific part of life and I just cycle through it. So we'll just see how it is. I would like to be able to maintain these things a little bit more because, again, my house is a mess, which is fine. Like, I don't mind when people's houses are messy. Like, you live in it. It's fine. But there's just some things that would be nice to be able to stay on top of, Anyways, what else was I going to say today? Oh, I went and saw Nosferatu, which I don't think I've ever seen the original one from like 1979 or whatever year it came out of. Is that the year it came out of? And, now listen, I'm not a movie critic, and I also probably don't actually know what I'm talking about. So take this, with that in mind, that I am just a person who likes to be entertained and watches things, and I'm sure that I missed some nuances or I missed something, but I really liked Nosferatu. I'm pretty sure it's based off of Dracula, and I think if I remember correctly, there was Dracula, and then they wanted to make a movie, but they couldn't get the rights to Dracula or something, so they made Nosferatu. But I don't actually really know. There's something weird going on there with the IP, I guess. Anyways, so I watched the 2024 version with Lily Rose Depp and Bill Skarsgård and Aaron Johnson something, a guy that everybody loves whose name I always forget. Willem Dafoe is in it. Nicholas Hoult is in it. It's pretty baller. It's got amazing people in it. So I went to watch it at like 10 p.m. on a Friday, so I knew I was going to be there until after midnight. And I brought some gummies with me, so I ate like 2 gummies before going to the movie, and boy, it was a great show. Highly recommend. Yeah, I would say that I have seen a lot of reviews online about people basically saying it's like, ooh, this is monster porn. No, it's not. I don't know. All these people who are fucking bricked up for Count Orlok, y'all got problems. You know, maybe I understand that there's a bit of an appeal to having somebody be so obsessed with you that they will bring the plague to a city and kill everybody and like annul your marriage and just do all this shit to be with you. Sure, maybe there's a weird, unhealthy desire to have somebody be that obsessed with you for some people. But people, he's a fucking corpse and he's a monster. And it's not even like the movie had that much. Okay, so let me rephrase. People online were kind of saying that it was like a porno. Are you kidding me? There's maybe 3 depictions on screen of sexual encounters, and the rest is fairly implied because it's in her dreams, and it's not like she's kind of, you know, moaning and like moving and then convulsing, you know? So sure, sexual themes are it's a huge piece of the whole movie. It's kind of the point, but they only really show sex on the screen a couple times. And yes, the scene at the end is a bit fucking crazy, but that's the point, you know? Anyways, I really, really loved the movie. So if you, you know, spoiler alert, I'm going to talk about it. So if you haven't seen it yet and you want to, maybe like skip, I don't know to what time, but just, I don't know. Also, it's a remake, so you've probably seen it. If you want to go see it, you've probably seen it. You're probably not like me, who has not actually seen the original, but I knew kind of what was going on. So anyways, the premise, I guess, is there's this lady, and she's, when she's younger, like probably an early teen, she's had a bit of a troubled childhood, and her father has estranged her because now she's a woman instead of a kid, and she's very lonely. Like, her mother has died. Again, her father's kind of estranged her, so she's very lonely, and so she calls out for the company and affection of basically whatever is around. Like, she's so lonely that she's just like, I don't even care who shows up. I'm just lonely, and come make me feel, you know, like I have company. And so good old Count Orlok answers the call, visits her in her home, and they have a special encounter. Wink, wink. And I think he gets her to pledge her life to him. And then there's something about the dirt there that there's imagery I might have to go rewatch it and look into it more, but there's some cool imagery going on there. Anyways, and then it's years later, she's married a guy. She still has these dreams about like marrying death and having corpses in the pews, and just she keeps dreaming of like terrible things, but describing how happy it makes her. And I really like this dynamic because it's something that's like, this is really horrible and I shouldn't love it, but I love it. You know, it's one of those things. And she's really disturbed by her own feelings about it. So there's a level of shame going on there. And yeah, so then basically, Count Orlok is like, well, fuck that. She can't be married. She's mine. Haha. And Count Orlok, like, spooky, magically manages to get Eleanor, the main lady, her husband, to travel to Transylvania on horseback, meet a bunch of gypsies, have weird shit happen, get his blood sucked, and sell Count Orlok the deed to Eleanor's childhood home where they first met, but also sign this crazy occult contract that basically annuls his marriage to Eleanor, so that Count Orlok can get back in there, you know? And then Count Orlok at some point gets on a ship full of the plague, and the ship arrives in whatever town they're in. I don't remember. And there's rats everywhere, like thousands and thousands of rats. And then, yeah, Count Orlok shows up, and it's like the middle part is hard to describe in a very small amount of time, but essentially there's plague shit happening. The doctors are trying to figure out why Eleanor keeps sleepwalking and having convulsions and being crazy, and they're like, oh, she's a woman, she's crazy, she's got too much blood in her body, so it's fine, like, just drug her up and she'll be good to go, which is a good societal commentary on, you know, oh, women are crazy. No, she was cursed. It's not her fault. But, like, technically she invited it in, but she was also a child when she invited it in. So it's also a good commentary on young women being groomed. You know, it's not really their fault. Like, they don't know. As if Eleanor knew when she was younger, when she wanted company and just begged for any kind of attention, knew that a literal corpse vampire monster fucking guy was gonna come and be that guy. You know, I've met a few people like that. You know what I mean? Anyways, I'm not gonna spoil the ending for you, but it's really good. And also, I gave it 4.5 stars on my Letterboxd, and the only reason I took half star away is just because sometimes the pacing was a little slow. But that being said, it's just one of those kinds of stories that is like that, and it's not entirely its fault. The imagery is beautiful. If you like gothic horror and you like dark imagery and disturbing scenes, they lit it beautifully. It was really dark, really wet, and the sound effects were just so visceral. And they really did a nice job of... Most movies, when they have like a disturbing beat or a disturbing scene, they'll flash on it for like a short amount of time just to get the image into you, and then they move on. I feel like Nosferatu did a great job of staying on the disturbing scene for longer beats. There's one scene in particular that my roommate and I totally agree is just fucking wild. And it's like, that is going to live in my head forever. Well, there's two, I guess. The end scene, you know, when he's screaming is really cool. But it's the one where he's on top of, I'm not going to give it away, but on top of a guy's body drinking his blood. And you see his whole body, and it's just, it looks like he's like sucking it out like a vacuum, and you just see it wave through his body. Fucking gross, dude. That's disgusting, and I loved it. Also, yes, you do see some monster peen, but it's like, it's a shot of his whole body, and he's side-lit, and it's not like the peen is the main thing. It's just there. He's got one. It's important to know that he has one so that you know he can fuck. Anyways, I don't know. I thought Nosferatu was great. I disagree with people online saying that it's just like monster porn, because it's not. Yes, sex is a really big theme in it, but it's not. They don't really depict actual sex on screen very much, you know, if that makes sense. Holy shit, it's 13 minutes. I'm sorry, I'm over my time. Love you. Goodbye.